So you're looking for a unique device, something that has little bezel and also no cutouts at all. But next to that, you want a phone that has a front-facing camera that is actually the rear-facing camera with a high image quality that you expect from that rear-facing camera. Now we have the Asus Zenfone 6, however, there's another option, and this is maybe a more unique approach to it. However, unique isn't always good. Anyway, let's dive into this review about the Samsung Galaxy A80. So, the Samsung Galaxy A80, this is a unique device with yet another approach how to get a bezelless screen by removing the front-facing camera. Where others have a motorized camera that pops up, the A80 has a unique system where it pops up a part of the back and then rotates the camera to the front. This not only allows the removal of the front-facing camera, but you will also be able to use this as your selfie camera. While this approach is unique, it is without a doubt not flawless. There are some people that have issues with it. And not to mention that it is pretty loud for a camera that is rotating. But I feel like that feature is not what makes me worry about this phone. While I think there could be a market for people who enjoy a unique approach like this, the price makes it compete directly with their own high-end phone, where you can get the Samsung Galaxy S10 for almost the same price and the S10e for lower. And while it shares some features with the Samsung Galaxy S10, like having a fingerprint scanner under the display, this simply doesn't perform as well or as secure. The Samsung Galaxy S10 uses sonic waves that is created by Qualcomm to read your fingerprint. Where on the A80 it uses a camera sensor. This means it's 2D and not as accurate, or when your finger is wet it doesn't work. And not to mention that without a doubt this simply doesn't work as well on the Samsung Galaxy S10 series. And then we get, for instance, to the CPU. The Samsung Galaxy A80 has a Snapdragon 730, where the Samsung Galaxy S10 has a Snapdragon 855. So again, the superior chip on the S10. And then of course some missing features like no IP rating, no headphone port, no microSD and no wireless charging. So the question is, does this make the Samsung Galaxy A80 totally a useless phone? Not really. While I can easily tell you phones that you should consider before buying something like this, there is something to it and makes it stand out, and that is of course the camera setup for those who love to take selfies. But the problem is it doesn't perform really well here either. Take a selfie with clouds and it can lead to a phone that simply adds clouds on your forehead. But let's look past the price and judge the phone for what it can do for a second. The Samsung Galaxy A80, while having a less superior chip with the Snapdragon 730, does come with plenty of RAM. It has 8 GB of it. And in general you won't really notice in day-to-day life that you are dealing with this CPU instead of an 855. It runs smooth and things start up fast. There isn't any performance issue I have experienced yet on this device, and that includes the pretty decent battery life. I can easily make it to the end of the day, and with the 25-watt charging it does charge pretty fast. And then in terms of camera it can do pretty well. Pictures can look good and sometimes more true to life in terms of colors than I expected actually. But let's look at the hardware. So we get a main camera setup with a 48 megapixel camera with a 2.0 aperture, which for myself I really don't care for. I don't have anything with this 48 megapixel sensor. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. For the second lens we have an 8 megapixel wide angle lens with a 2.2 aperture. And then of course we have our time of flight sensor that should allow for better depth detection. While again it doesn't have the best dynamic range, it does do well in most situations. If there is something that I have noticed is that it doesn't always focus properly, where it just simply doesn't properly recognize that there is an object there. And then of course the question to low light when it comes to the camera. Well, here it's pretty lackluster. While it isn't terrible, it is far from great. And I feel like they could have done better, but again, this is down to a 48 megapixel sensor that doesn't make any sense to me. Just give it a 12 megapixel sensor. Higher megapixel doesn't necessarily mean better, especially when the sensor size is this small. So to round this off, the Samsung Galaxy A80 isn't by definition a bad device. I think in day-to-day use it works fine, and for selfies it is a high quality camera. However, with that being said, for the price that it's actually being sold at, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't feel like this device warrants the price. And with that, I wouldn't advise you to buy this device. If I could advise you, I would say look around for other high-end devices around this price that are already dropped. Like the Samsung Galaxy S10, maybe like the Huawei Mate 20 or P30, something like that. Heck, even the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. Those devices clearly give you more value for the money. If this device was at a lower price, it would make a lot of sense, and especially for those who want to take a lot of selfies. For myself, I'm not the biggest fan of phone companies pushing for a bezelless design and then trying to do all kinds of tricks to give you a different kind of solution for a problem that is created by that mobile brand. Anyway, that was my review about the Samsung Galaxy A80. Let me know in the comments below if you find this device interesting and if you care a lot about selfies, and if this is then something that would be on your shortlist. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and of course, talk to you guys in the next.